Andrea, Donaldson offside. Okay, now, it's all right.
First of all, again.
It's okay.
I think, look, pleased with the 2 points, pleased to get back to winning ways after a disappointing result last week. I think, for the first 40 we were pretty good, apart from a few areas, but I think if we're being honest with ourselves, we had a real lapse 20-25 minutes in that second half, which we certainly need to fix up moving forward.
And it seemed like when you scored that last try, there was a real defiant throw of the ball. Were you upset with that period there?
I know we're better than that second half performance that we showed, so there's certainly a lot we need to work on. pleased with the 2 points, but you know, we've got to put a lot of work into training in the next few weeks.
Do you think that spell in the first half, was that as good as you've been for a while?
We was quite fluent with the ball. I don't think it's any coincidence that, you know, when we complete sets and you know we have a good kicking game, then we're a much better side. You know, I think that's key for us moving forward. I think, you know, the nearer we get to playoffs now, we've got to start playing a playoff type football and limit the errors that we're putting in.
And the Bulls, were impressed with how they bounced back there and came at you in that second half?
Oh, I think, you know, fair credit to them. They've had a real tough year, haven't they? Both on and off the field, but to be fair to them, the boys keep showing up for each other. And you know, I thought they were fantastic in that second half, the way they came back into the game.
And looking forward now, are the things that you can take from that game and put into next week's performance?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's key now moving forward, is that, like I said previous, the playoffs are not too far away now, so you need to keep improving on your performances, because come the end of the year, those little inconsistent 20-minute periods that we're having, we can't afford. And
a quick word on your first try, that was rolling back the years there, wasn't it? A fair old running?
Yeah, it was a fair old running. I felt like he had Massimo on me back for the last 15-20 metres, but thankfully I got there in the end.
For 60 minutes it was absolutely fantastic. We couldn't have asked for any more. You know, we had 2 players coming back from pretty long-term injuries in Kyler Moore and Anthony LaFranchi, so we knew there was going to be a little bit scratchy, but we was hoping to get through the game, and they come through the game fine. But just that period of 20 minutes where we just we was 40 points to 0 up, we put the queue on the rack, and sides that want to finish first and want to win grand finals don't do stuff like that, so we've got to try and change that mentality.
Do you think that's what it was, just a mentality problem? Because James Roby went off into with a bit of a blood injury. Do you think that affected the way things sort of lined up out there?
Listen, James Roby's an absolutely sensational player, one of the best 9s in the world, but we have got a very good set of players who we should be able to compensate the loss of James Roby. So for me, we should do better when Robes goes off. Lance drops in there, and Lance is a great 9 within his own right, and the team should be able to adapt to this situation. And it was defensive errors that sort of let them back in the game, and he wasn't good enough in defence. They scored 22 points. James Roby makes a lot of tackles, but he's not going to save all them tries, you know, so there's a lot more people to blame than James.
In the first half, what do you think you did really well, because you blew them away in that first half, didn't you?
We just played simple rugby, didn't we? We carried the ball hard, and you know, we did the right things. Defensively, it was outstanding. We kicked chase well, we kicked long. You know, we kept them within 30 metres, and we was always catching the ball on the 40, and we was winning the arm wrestle. It was just simple, basic rugby league, and we was doing it really well. And you know, it was good to see that from the boys. They got a response from last week. You know, where they wasn't good enough last week, and they got what they deserved last week. So this week they've trained well, and we come into the game with a good mentality. And for me, 60 minutes they were brilliant. You know, they was untouchable, and then it was definitely the old cue in the rack and the foot off the accelerator, and you know, we let Bradford play a bit, and they can play a bit, and they're playing a different style under Jimmy Lowes, and Jimmy's got them throwing the ball about now. They're a different team, and they are quite threatening.
So do you think that's something you can work on, that taking the foot off the pedal mentality? Or do you think you've got the boys in there to communicate that already?
Generally in them situations you learn by pain, you know, you learn by, you know, if the mentality is wrong and they think, oh, we got the win anyway. Like sometimes, like last week, we just wasn't good enough and we dropped off in the back end of the half again. And I thought we would have learned from that, you know, because that was pain. We lost the game that we potentially should have won. But today we got the win, and you know, hopefully we can show them a lot of painful stuff on video and show them the consequences of certain actions, and you know, and they might do a lot better.